hope you're having a great day here. Dave McDonald coming to you live on tape from Corny Creek Farms. I hope you're having a perfectly corny day yourself. And as you know, if you've been watching my videos, you know that I am the head cartoonist here. Cartoonist, get it? Yes, lots of corny humor here. Oh, speaking of corny humor, real quick, little joke. I heard that a drummer, one of my drummer friends, had twin girls last week. Do you know what he named them? And a 1 and a 2. Get it? And a 1 and a 2. I cracked myself up. That's a good one. You can tell your teacher that one maybe. All right, today we've got an exciting program for you. First of all, I want to share with you last week's drawing that I colored. Remember, instead of the big bad wolf, we drew the small good wolf who loved to bake muffins. So here's my colored small good wolf who loved to bake goodies. And did you color yours? Did you have fun with that one? Yes, I don't know. We talked maybe about that being either a chocolate chip muffin or a blueberry muffin or anything you wanted to really. But I just wanted to share that with you. I enjoy coloring those after I draw them. And what I want to do now, this is something a little bit different than we normally do. I want to go and touch on the topic of puppetry. So I think in one video previously, I've talked about how I used to perform and tour with a puppet show where I would perform all these characters. I worked with the wonderful Gray Seal Puppets out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and I toured in schools for many years with a show called Snuckleby and his Tales from Kudzu Land. And so one week, I think a couple months back, we drew one of the puppet characters from that show. Her name is Granny Blossom Possum. And she was an older obviously granny, who lived in a wheelchair. She sat in a wheel, but she was a stunt woman. She didn't sit around. She did not sit still, believe me. Here she is jumping over the ramp like Evel Knievel. She had a lot of energy, but she was in a wheelchair that was made out of kudzu vines. That's why it looks like this, because she lived in Kudzu Land and they used the vines for things that were practical and useful like this. And at that time I mentioned, oh, I'd love to show you the puppet, but I couldn't find it. However, I recently found it and took a picture of Granny Blossom Possum. And so I wanted to show you what the actual puppet looked like. She is a rod puppet. So that means I'm holding a handle that is at the bottom of a rod that goes straight up through the puppet. So if you look at that picture, way at the bottom right, you can see a dark blue sleeve. That's my upper arm. And I'm holding the handle beneath the puppet, which would be right about where those wheels are. And then there's a little lever that I can pull and her mouth opens up so I can make her talk. All right, so that's a rod puppet. But if you look, let's see, did we do a good job when we drew Granny Blossom Possum? Not bad because I haven't seen that puppet in years. I had to dig her out of some storage. But that was Granny Blossom Possum that we drew together. And I thought today we would draw another puppet from that show. And it's not a rod puppet, it was a hand puppet. And so here is Yowzer. Yowzer is a hand puppet, a beaver character, a very happy and cheerful and energetic character. For some reason, I like to give my characters a lot of energy. I wonder where that comes from. Do you know? I think you know. Lots of corny humor and lots of energy. So that is Yowzer. It's a simple hand puppet. Your index finger is in the head of the puppet. Your thumb is in one hand of the puppet and your pinky finger is in the other hand of the puppet. So you can make them gesture with their arms, but the mouth does not move. It's all pantomime. All right, so that's Yowzer the beaver puppet. And I thought, now when I built that puppet, I didn't just build it from scratch and not even knowing what I wanted it to look like. I would have created a design drawing, but I can't find the design drawing. That's long gone. But I thought we would do a drawing today of Yowzer and see how we do. All right, so let's get our pencil out and draw some simple shapes to create the shape of Yowzer's head. So with your pencil very lightly, and if you draw with me every week, you know I draw very lightly with pencil and then we finish the drawing off in ink. Okay, so very lightly, we need to start with an oval shape like this. Notice I go around several times before I get an oval that I'm happy with. On top of these will be the jowls or the cheeks of the character. On top of this oval, we need a circle, like that, okay? I'm just going to draw a line down the middle to kind of give me a reference as to which two halves of the character. At the bottom here, where the chin will be opened up a little bit, another little, it's not very big, a little oval at the bottom, all right? Those three shapes make up the shape of his head. So, very lightly in pencil, because I don't want to go right to ink yet, I'm going to just trace my way around all three shapes until I get what I think is, or looks like, the shape of Yowzer, his head. See that? I trace around all those shapes. Now, just to make it easier for you, the inside of part of the head here, these parts of the shape I really don't need. So I'll erase those and show you how I use those three simple shapes to come up with one unique shape, which is the shape of his head. All right, here's the middle still. Okay, so this is where the eyeballs go. His eyeballs are oval shapes. One oval there, one oval there. He has eyelids, which are curved lines, and big pupils, which are ovals as well. Here we go. How are we looking so far? Good? Okay. Let's draw a little curved line here. That would be the snout, the top of the muzzle or snout. Little curved line under the eyes. Again, this is the halfway point. So his nose is kind of a triangle shape. Now that's a real triangle, but I would round it off. I wouldn't draw harsh corners. It's a rounded off triangle nose. And then down here where the jaw is, near the chin, he's got a big smile. So just a curved line with a square, kind of a square shape for a tooth. All right, his hair is just kind of wispy fur, so we'll just indicate that with some wispy lines. When we get to inking, we'll decide which of those lines will become his hair. All right, so it's a hand puppet, so let's just draw what would be his shirt with kind of a, well, it would be a triangle if I continued up, kind of a trapezoid shape. Just comes down. This down at the bottom would be where your hand would enter the puppet. So this is his shirt. I think on his shirt he has little collar that sticks out. So I'll put two triangles here for a collar. And then we'll put his arms out to the side like this, waving. So we need a curved line here and a curved line there. At the end of the curved line, big circle for his paw, and his thumb will be out. And what we'll probably do is extend this circle out to make that paw bigger. Okay, let's do the same thing on this side. Watch. Curved line, Big circle for the paw. Circle for the thumb. Extend out past the circle for the paw. And then divide up that paw into 3 fingers with these straight lines. All right? Okay, let's see. Is that all the detail I need to draw in there? I think it is. Now we're ready for inking. Get my ink pen out. I'm going to start inking at the top, just because I think I've mentioned this in the past. If you start at the bottom and then move your hand up, you might drag through some wet ink and make a little smear. So, and that happens sometimes. It's okay. But I like to try and avoid that if I can by starting at the top. And I'm just randomly making these curved lines for hair. Again, it's just fur, so it could look unkempt or messy, as we say. Bedhead, like you wake up in the morning, right? All right, so let's do the outline of his head. Just kind of tracing over those lines that we drew earlier. Okay, oval, oval, curved line for the eyelid on each eye, oval shaped pupil. And I am going to, just to add life to the character, put that circle in the top right corner, or left, it doesn't matter, and then fill in around that circle. That becomes the what? If you've been watching, you know why I do that in my videos. It's a reflection of the light. Your pupils are wet, so sometimes they cause a reflection. And when you draw that and leave that circle in there, it just adds a little bit of life to your character, I think. Okay. The top of his snout. Rounded off triangle. And I'm going to fill this in black. His nose really isn't black. It's just a dark brown on my puppet. But for black and white, I'm going to make it black and then leave that little shine at the top. A little shine across the top of the nose. All right. Smile. And the little tooth. There we go. All right, arm. One arm. And I think he's got, let me look at that photo. Yes, so we'll go back to the photo and I'll show you that. But he's got a little cuff at the end of his sleeve. Okay, so he's got a thumb. And then watch this. We're going to make the ends of the fingers, we're going to round them off. So watch. Round, 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 and back to the arm. Okay, there's one paw. All right, let's go over here. Curved line for the arm. The little cuff. Thumb. 1, 2, 3. There's his paw. And his shirt. And there we go. And again, that little character, his name is Yowzer. And we'll draw maybe a little horizon line behind him. How's that? Now let's erase, and then we'll actually go back and look at the photo to see if we've managed to create a drawing that looks similar to the puppet. And again, when I made this puppet, I would have done a design drawing. It may have looked something like this. I can't remember, but I didn't just make puppets without having an idea as to what I wanted it to look like. I would always draw something out and say, yes, that's what I want my character to look like. And I drew it that way, and then I would build it to look that way. Okay? Those are called, again, design drawings. All right, so let's take a look here. Go back to our puppet, and yeah, looks pretty close. I would say, oh, you know what I did forget? Oh, this is why you check. What did I forget? You're right, it's a beaver, and he's missing his tail. See, I forgot the tail. So what I would do is come in here. Let's see, just has a little bit of his tail sticking out from back there. So I'll just draw an oval shape like this. It's sticking out to the side like that. And then he's got those little markings. There we go. Now he's complete. And that's why I wanted to check. That's better. Yowzer! Hey, how did you do with that character? Did you have fun? Maybe what you could do is create your own puppet. First design it on paper, and then create a little family activity. Maybe mom or dad or brother or sister can help you out. Maybe your friends. If you're safe to get together, make sure. Again, I don't know, it depends on when you're watching this. Right now, the COVID restrictions are kind of still in place. But when it's safe, maybe get a little group together and create your very own puppet character. That's a lot of fun. All right, so I guess until next time, my friend, be safe, stay well, and always stay corny. All right, take care now.